Motown down. Yeah, yeah.
Hello everyone and welcome to this edition of Classic Movie Buffet Theater. Alright, now let me start off by saying that I know it's been a while since I made a video. I apologize for that. But as I've said before, sometimes life happens and it gets in the way of things. But, you know, it's all for the good. It's best to get things done in the personal life as well as work life. So, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and jump into today's movie. And today's movie came out on July 22nd of 1988. And it was directed by a John McTiernan. John McTiernan, if I'm saying that name correctly. And he's been responsible for directing such great films as Basic from 2003 with John Travolta. He also directed a little film called Nomads in 1986 with Pierce Brosnan. And he also directed a film called Predator in 1987 with the great Arnold Schwarzenegger. And the film we're going to talk about today is called Die Hard. And it's the classic Bruce Willis action flick from 1988. And of course, it stars Bruce Willis, who plays the character of John McClane. And he's also played in such films as The Last Boy Scout in 1991. And of course, he played in Armageddon from 1998. And he played in the classic The Sixth Sense in 1999. And that was a fantastic, all three of those films were fantastic films. Going back to Basic, Nomads, and Predator, of course, was fantastic. Nomads, I haven't watched it in a while, but it was one of those films that, to me, you had to stay right in front of to catch everything. So I need to go back and rewatch that film. It was a good movie. I just need to go back and rewatch it. And Basic was fantastic. Basic was a fantastic thriller. And the film also stars the great Alan Rickman, rest in peace, who plays the character of Hans Gruber, and he's also played in such films as Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves from 1991 with Kevin Costner. He also played in the sci-fi comedy Galaxy Quest in 1999 with Tim Allen. And of course, he also played in Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone from 2001. It was a sad day in the entertainment industry when Alan Rickman passed away. He was an incredible actor, and he will forever be remembered and greatly missed. All three of those films are fantastic. Well, Galaxy Quest and Prince of Thieves is fantastic. I have not seen any of the Harry Potter films, as I've stated before on the channel. I was never a fan of Harry Potter, though I've never watched any of the films. So I can't really speak on that, but he does have a humongous fan base because of those films. Among other films, of course. And the film also stars the great Bonnie Bedelia, who plays the character of Holly Gennaro. And she's also played in such films as Salem's Lot from 1979. That was it was a crazy, it was an actual made-for-TV miniseries, which was pretty crazy. She also played in The Needful Things in 1993. That was a Stephen King novel. And she also played in the film Like Father, Like Son in 1987. She's had a great career. And the plot for this film is New York City cop John McClane tries to save his estranged wife and several others that have been taken hostage by terrorists during a Christmas Eve party at the Nakatomi Plaza skyscraper in Los Angeles, California. And, the movie had a budget of $28 million, but it grossed way over that. It grossed right around 143,651,648 dollars. So it had a humongous gross. All right. So with that being said, let's go ahead and check the trailer out for Die Hard. Here we go.
It's Christmas Eve in L.A.,
California.
Is Daddy coming home soon?
Well, we'll see what Santa and Mommy can do, okay?
and New York cop John McClane has come to see his wife.
I missed you.
Instead, he's going to have to save her.
Sit down.
Within this skyscraper high above the city, 12 terrorists have declared war.
They're about to be taught a lesson in the real use of power.
They're as brilliant
Because I am interested in the $640 million in your vault.
as they are ruthless.
But I'm telling you, you're just gonna have to kill me. Okay. We do it the hard way.
Now, the last thing McClane wants
Think, damn it, think.
is to be a hero,
Where's Holly? Hey, Tucker! Where?
but he doesn't have a choice.
What does he think he's doing?
Job.
They have already killed one hostage.
This channel is reserved for emergency calls only.
Lady, do I sound like I'm ordering a pizza?
He's inside? Who is he? Who are you then? You are most troublesome for a security guard.
Sorry, wrong guess, huh? Would you like to go for double jeopardy?
Do you really think you have a chance against us, Mr. Cowboy?
Yippee-ki-yay, mother.
You just destroyed a building. I am in charge of this situation.
I got some bad news for you. From up here, that look like you're in charge of Jack.
He is alone, he is tired, and he hasn't seen dipping squat from anybody down here.
Hey, pal, how you feeling?
All things being equal, I'd rather be in Philadelphia.
And you'll have it.
Only John can drive somebody that crazy.
He's an easy guy to like
Come out to the coast. We'll get together, have a few laughs.
and a hard man to kill. Bruce Willis, Die Hard.
Got invited to the Christmas party by mistake. Who knew?
All right, that was the trailer for the classic action flick Die Hard, starring the great Bruce Willis. This film blends humor, suspense, and relentless action, not to mention innovative cinematography and some memorable one-liners. The story isn't completely believable, but it's believable enough, and it manages to move along at a quick enough pace to where plot holes are easily glanced over. McTiernan keeps the film rolling at a roller coaster pace, building the anticipation of the audience before unleashing the action. The acting is just about perfect. Bruce Willis in the lead role is incredible. Alan Rickman's performance as the villain Hans Gruber is totally awesome. I mean, it's spot on with that character. He portrays a very cold, ruthless, yet smart villain, always appearing to have an ace up his sleeve to outwit the hero of the film, Bruce Willis. Bonnie Bedelia takes a break from her normal moral dilemma television movies to play the estranged wife of Bruce Willis in this film. And Reginald Vell Johnson is also great as the cop on the ground in contact with McClane throughout the film. A terrific music score by Michael Kamen, intelligent and witty scripting, and a plot that doesn't feel forced or convoluted. It makes Die Hard an 80s classic unlike any other in the genre at that time. and set the standard for the action genre. Um, like I said, Hans Gruber was Alan Rickman was fantastic in that role. He had the ability to play the villain like nobody else could. Um, and that's saying something because there's a lot of great villains out there. Jack Nicholson is a great villain. Christopher Walken's a great villain. There's a lot out there, and Alan Rickman is spot on with this character in this film. He was an amazing actor, and like I said, he'll be missed. He'll be greatly missed. Um, this movie, to me, set the standard for hostage, terrorist, takeover type films like this in the action genre. Um, you had Robert Davi, who made a little appearance in the film as one of the FBI agents. Of course, you had Reginald Bell Johnson as the cop on the street. He was fantastic and very funny in this role, even when he wasn't trying to be. The one-liners are spot on in this film, including the classic "Yippee Ki Yay" line that's in the movie. It's etched in history as one of the greatest one-liners, one of the greatest one-liners in history. Everybody wants to repeat it at some in some way, shape, or form at some time throughout their life because they've heard it. It is an iconic line among a long list of iconic lines in movie history. Uh, I can't say enough about this film. I've watched it time and time and time again. There is a lot of I guess you could say, arguments over whether or not this is a Christmas movie. Some say it isn't. Um, to me, it is. It takes place on Christmas Eve. Um, and if you think about it, at the beginning of the film, when McLean's daughter is talking to the mother and asking if Daddy's coming home for Christmas, he is. So that grants a Christmas wish for her. And there are Christmas trees, there's Christmas scenery, there's Christmas music in the film. So yeah, I kind of think it is a Christmas movie. Um, but there is, a lot of people out there who don't find it to be a Christmas movie, even though it does take place on Christmas Eve. But I think it is. I think it is. And that'll always be up for debate. It's been up for debate ever since the movie came out, pretty much. So there to me there is no right or wrong answer for that. Um, I find it to be a Christmas movie, but everybody's entitled to their own opinion on the matter. So a lot of people don't find it as a Christmas movie. Okay, so going into some notes for this film, the fictional plaza, the fictional Nakatomi Plaza, is the headquarters of 20th Century Studios. The studio was used so they could use one of its own buildings and didn't have to hold back on the stunts and action sequences. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool there. Let's see. The scene where Bruce Willis and Alan Rickman meet up was unrehearsed to create a greater of spontaneity. Ah, some of these words, I'm telling you, spontaneity between the two actors. So there's a scene in the film when they meet face to face, and it's the first time they've ever met on set, and the whole scene that they did on the rooftop was unrehearsed. So that's pretty neat. That's pretty neat. Uh, One of the main action sequences in the film, where McClane falls down a shaft, was a mistake by the stuntman who was supposed to grab the very first air vent. As originally planned, he slipped and continued to fall, but the shot was used anyway and edited so McClane grabs the next vent down as he falls. Okay. That's kind of wild. But, it goes to show you some stunts don't always go without a hitch. There is a chance for an accident or something to go not according to plan. It just happens. But that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool to know. Alan Rickman's first day of shooting, he made a 3-foot high jump on a ledge and damaged cartilage in his knee upon landing. The scene on the roof, first time meeting with McClane. For the rest of the scene, where Gruber is standing and talking to McClane, Rickman is standing on one leg the entire scene with a leg brace under his pants. He was not able to put weight on the leg and used crutches for a week. So basically, anytime you've seen Hans Gruber standing after that scene, he was standing on one leg, which is pretty cool because that just shows his fortitude, his intestinal fortitude to do a job and complete a job. Kudos to him. Much of the script was improvised due to constant screenplay tweaks that were being made during filming. I wonder how many times that actually happens during the film of a movie. I'd say it's probably quite a bit. It's probably quite a bit. And sometimes they fall flat when they do that. But this one happened to make it. So that's pretty cool. McTiernan revealed in the making of featurette that a majority of exterior shots of the building showing explosions were real. Full-scale explosions set off in and around the actual building. Well, see, that goes back to the first spot where they were using the 20th Century Fox Studios so they could do that kind of thing, which is pretty cool. It just adds to the ambiance of the film and the action of the film. So that's pretty cool. While making this film, cinematographer Jan de Bont got trapped in an elevator, which later gave him the inspiration for the opening scene of Speed in 1994, which he directed. So that's pretty cool. While making the film, he got trapped in an elevator and he came up with that scene for Speed. Speed is a great movie. A lot of people don't like it or find flaws in it, which every movie has its flaws. But I thoroughly enjoyed Speed. It's one of my favorite action movies along with this one. So if you haven't seen Speed, definitely go check it out. Keanu Reeves is at his best in that film. Or one of his best roles, I should say. Bruce Willis took the role of John McClane after it had been turned down by Robert De Niro. Willis had been turned down to play Charles Grodin's role opposite De Niro in Midnight Run. Coincidentally, both films opened the same weekend. Okay, so Robert De Niro was first asked to play John McClane, but then he turned it down. Bruce Willis was auditioned for the role of Charles Grodin opposite Robert De Niro in the film Midnight Run, and he was turned down for that. So coincidentally, both films opened the same weekend, and they were on different films. I'm pretty sure. I'm sure Bruce Willis came out on top with that one, especially as far as the revenue from the film went. So I think he did. He may not have felt right about it at the time, but making that, not being in not being in Midnight Run and working on Die Hard was probably the best for his career, no doubt. This was Alan Rickman's first major film role. He had been an accomplished theater and TV star, but had never been part of an actual film. At first, he actually turned down the role of Hans Gruber. His agents convinced him to take the role. He hadn't been in Hollywood he hadn't even been in Hollywood for a week when this role came about. So that's pretty neat. That's pretty neat to know. After seeing the movie Heart Like a Wheel in 1983, Bruce Willis loved Bonnie Bedelia's performance in that film so much, he personally recommended her to play his estranged wife in Die Hard. That's pretty cool. And I've said it so many times before, when someone takes a film that you originally played in and sees you in that film and likes your acting, your ability so much that they recommend you for another movie and that they're starring in, that's fantastic. That just goes to show how well your ability to act and portray a character and pull someone in to your performance. That just goes to prove that. Um, Even though she hadn't really done a whole lot of stuff outside, like I said, the moral dilemma type TV movies and things like that, um, she's an amazing actress. An amazing actress. All right, so with that being said, we're going to end the video here. That is my feelings on the film Die Hard. It's a great action flick, and a great Christmas movie, because that's the only time I really watch it, unless I catch it on TV or something and there's nothing on. But I usually dig it out around Christmas time just to watch it, which nowadays that's all the only time they really show a lot of it. Um, so we're going to try to get back on track. I know I keep saying that, and something always comes up that it doesn't work out that way. But this is a new year, um, and I would like to get on board and be consistent with my videos. We have lost one subscriber so far, and I hope we don't lose any more. Hopefully, we gain some back um, once I get a few videos out there and people start watching again. Um, the viewership has slacked off quite a bit, and I'm kind of depressed about, well, not really depressed, but I don't know what to do about that other than just to keep putting out content and be more consistent with my content. So we're going to give that a shot. We're going to keep going forward despite what may come. So with that being said, I will see you guys on Saturday for Mikey's Saturday Nightmares, where we will discuss not a brand new movie, but a classic horror film. Also, I may include a brand new horror film trailer for a film that is getting ready to come out. I just saw it a little bit ago. I'm highly excited for this film. So I may have a little something on it in there in the Saturday Nightmares coming up, because it's got me excited. So we'll talk about that, and I will have a classic horror film to discuss on Saturday. So with that being said, I will see you guys on Saturday for Mikey's Saturday Nightmares. Be safe, be careful, have a great week, and I'll see y'all on Saturday. Bye bye.